The air in the car felt like it was choking me, thick with the scent of her perfume, jasmine, sharp and cloying, the same one she wore when we first met. I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles pale as Mia snapped, "Don't be weird, Jake. I can wear what I want. I'm not your property." Her words sliced through the hum of the engine, her voice jagged with defiance. She sat beside me, arms crossed, her short black dress riding up her thigh, a silent rebellion against my request to dress modestly for dinner with my parents. I didn't respond. My jaw clenched, and the road blurred as my mind churned. Was I controlling? Or was she pushing me away? The question gnawed at me, a quiet warning I couldn't shake as we sped toward my childhood home. The house loomed ahead, its white clapboard facade glowing under the porch light, a beacon of stability that felt like a lie tonight. Inside, the dining room was warm, heavy with the aroma of roasted chicken and rosemary. My parents, ever the gracious hosts, smiled tightly as Mia's heels clicked against the hardwood. Her dress clung to her like a second skin, and I caught my mother's eyes flicker, her lips pursing for a fraction of a second. Dad cleared his throat, offering her wine, but the conversation stumbled. Mia laughed too loudly at a joke no one else found funny, her hand brushing my arm in a way that felt performative, not intimate. I tried to focus on the clink of silverware, the soft scrape of plates, but my stomach twisted. Something was wrong. I could feel it in the way her eyes darted away from mine, in the way she fidgeted with her necklace, a silver locket I hadn't seen before. As the evening wore on, Mia's phone buzzed incessantly on the table, each vibration a pinprick against my nerves. "Work," she muttered, silencing it without looking. My mother raised an eyebrow but said nothing. I wanted to believe her, to smother the doubt creeping up my spine, but the phone buzzed again, and this time, she snatched it up, her fingers trembling as she typed a quick reply. My father's gaze met mine, heavy with unspoken questions, and I forced a smile, my heart thudding. "It's nothing," I told myself. "She's stressed. That's all." But the locket gleamed under the chandelier, a tiny, mocking mystery. Where had it come from? Why hadn't I noticed it before? After dessert, my parents excused themselves to clear the table, leaving Mia and me alone in the dining room. The silence was suffocating, broken only by the distant clatter of dishes in the kitchen. I reached for her hand, desperate to bridge the growing chasm between us, but she pulled away, her eyes fixed on the tablecloth. "You okay?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. She nodded, but her lips pressed into a thin line, and her fingers toyed with that damn locket again. "Mia," I pressed, "what's going on? You've been distant." Her eyes flicked up, sharp and guarded, and she laughed, a brittle, hollow sound. "You're paranoid, Jake. It's just dinner. Relax." But her words felt like a deflection, a flimsy shield hiding something darker. Later, as Mia stepped outside to take a call, my parents pulled me into the living room. The air was thick with the scent of old books and my mother's lavender candles, but their faces were grim, etched with a concern I hadn't seen since I was a kid. My father's hand rested on my shoulder, heavy and steady, as my mother leaned in, her voice low. "Jake," she said, her words slicing through the quiet. "We saw Mia with someone else last week. At the cafe on Elm Street." The world tilted. My breath caught, sharp and painful, like glass in my chest. "What?" I managed, my voice cracking. My father's grip tightened. "They were close," he said, his eyes searching mine. "Too close." The room spun, the walls closing in as their words echoed in my skull. "Mia. My Mia. With someone else." I wanted to scream, to demand details, but my tongue felt leaden. Images flashed, her late nights at work, the unanswered texts, the way her laughter had grown rare, like a song she'd forgotten the words to. I'd chalked it up to stress, to her demanding job, to my own insecurities. But now, standing in the glow of my parents' living room, the truth clawed at me. I'd been blind. Or worse, I'd chosen to be. I stumbled outside, the cool night air biting my skin. Mia stood by the car, her phone pressed to her ear, her voice low and urgent. "I'll call you later," she hissed, hanging up as I approached. Her eyes widened, caught, but she recovered quickly, flashing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Everything okay?" she asked, her tone too bright, too practiced. I wanted to confront her, to demand answers, but my parents' words held me back. I needed proof. I needed to know for sure. The drive home was a blur of silence and streetlights. Mia stared out the window, her fingers still clutching that locket. My mind raced, piecing together fragments. Her guarded smiles, the late-night calls, the way she'd started locking her phone. At home, she disappeared into the bathroom, claiming a headache, and I sat on the couch, staring at her purse. My hands shook as I opened it, guilt and desperation warring in my chest. There, tucked in a side pocket, was a folded note. My heart pounded as I unfolded it, the paper soft and worn, as if it had been read 100 times. Meet me at the usual spot. Miss you. See. The world stopped. The words burned into my retinas, each letter a betrayal. See who was C? My mind conjured a faceless stranger, someone who'd stolen pieces of her I thought were mine. I wanted to scream, to tear the note apart, but instead, I sat frozen, the weight of it crushing me. When Mia emerged, her face pale, I held up the note. Her eyes widened, then narrowed, and for a moment, I saw something raw, guilt, fear, defiance. Jake, it's not what you think, she started, but her voice wavered, and I cut her off. Then what is it? I demanded, my voice shaking with rage and heartbreak. Who's C? Why are you hiding this? She opened her mouth, then closed it, tears welling in her eyes. The silence was deafening, a confession in itself. I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered finally, her voice breaking. It was a mistake. A moment. I swear I love you. But her words felt hollow, a lifeline thrown too late. I thought of my parents' warning, of the locket, of every moment I'd ignored the signs. Love. The word tasted like ash. I stood, my legs unsteady, and walked to the window. The city lights blurred through my tears, a kaleidoscope of pain. Get out. I said, my voice low, final. She sobbed, pleading, but I couldn't look at her. The girl I'd loved, the one I'd built a future with in my mind, was a stranger now. As the door clicked shut behind her, I sank to the floor, the note still clutched in my hand. My parents' words echoed, a cruel truth. They were too close. And in that moment, I realized the real betrayal wasn't just her infidelity. It was my own refusal to see her for who she'd become.